Hello everyone, I'm your brother from Region 2 Philippines, Edgar Ligutom, one of the regional directors of the Kingdom of God. Before I will proceed to my main topic today, which is about the mystery behind a certain place which is very important according to the plan of God. But beforehand, I would like to extend first my deep sense of gratitude to our divine mentor, who is the source of this wisdom that I am about to share with you all later on. From His Majesty, of course, Supreme King Filemon o Reambonanza, our beloved Supreme Founder of the Kingdom of God. He founded it on July 27, 1980. Now back to our main topic today, which is about to reveal the mystery behind the place Dapitan. So we have this specific question that needs a specific answer later on. Again, what is Dapitan according to the plan of God? If we will talk about Dapitan, we will start at the time when Jacob was born, because the exact time begins in his life. Jacob was born in negative 73. Before he entered Egypt, he lived 130 years in Israel. And that was in negative 73 to positive 57. In our diagram, how do we obtain positive 57? We have that answer by simply adding positive 130 from negative 73. Since we are dealing with numbers or calculating numbers having unlike sign, negative and positive, so it is very important here to apply the basic or the fundamental rules of algebra. So in this case, the rule says, to add two numbers having unlike sign, find their difference and prefix the sign of the greater number. The difference between 73 and 130 is 57. Then prefix the sign of the greater number, since 130 is positive and it is greater than 73. Therefore, the sign for positive 57 is actually this one. This was the time when Joseph became governor of Egypt. 17 years after Jacob arrived in Egypt, he died. So the family of Jacob lived in Egypt within 430 years. So it was at the time of Moses. In short, they got out in Egypt in the year 487. We have this answer by simply adding 430 from positive 57. Again, the rule says to add two numbers having like sign, find their sum and prefix their common sign. So in this year, positive 487, the children of Israel or Jacob went out from the land of Egypt. from this year, 480 years should be counted off. And that was the time when Solomon constructed the temple. In other words, Solomon began the construction in the year positive 967. This was the 4th year when Solomon reigned the kingdom. So he became king in the year positive 963. Now, Solomon had 37 years left to finish the positive 1,000 years. Since Solomon reigned the kingdom in 40 years, so he had 3 years, which was already in negative 1,000 years. So how do we prove that his 3 years had already entered in negative 1,000 years? By simply subtracting his term, 40 years from 37. So again, in this case, another rule of algebra to be applied here is that to subtract numbers, mentally change the sign of the subtrahend. Our subtrahend is 40 and the sign is positive, so we will make it into negative. Then proceed to algebraic addition. So we have now positive 37 and negative 40 after changing the sign of our subtrahend. So proceed to algebraic addition. So in this case, to add two numbers having unlike sign, find their difference and prefix the sign of the greater number. So we have 3 and the sign is negative. Now, this negative indicates that 3 had already entered in negative 1,000 years. So if negative 3 should be subtracted from negative 1,000, we have the answer of negative 997. If this number of years should be subtracted from the appointed time of God, which is 2,520 years, we will have the answer of 1,523, or simply 1523 in short. This year, 1523, was the exact time when God bestowed the kingdom to a certain nation that became a Christian nation in this year, 1523. So in this regard, God sent a priest on March 16, 1521, in order to Christianize the Filipino. For the kingdom of God should be given to a nation in which Christianity abided. We cannot profoundly deny that the Philippines is the abode of the Christian people who are struggling for salvation, whether in group or individual. We learned very well that Philippines became a Christian country on April 14, 1521, 2 years before God gave the kingdom in 1523. That from this time, 1523, another plan of God has been secured. So it is very clear to mention the kingdom of God, because 1523 is the reputation of a real and true kingdom of God at the time of King Solomon during his last hour in negative 997. A biblical history prevails that the creation of Adam was in an island surrounded by two branches of twin rivers of Tigris River and Euphrates River. This is precisely called Mesopotamia, from a Greek language, Mesopo, which means an island surrounded by two branches of twin rivers, namely the Tigris River and the Euphrates. In a vivid narration, after the creation of Adam, God rested in the seventh day. Since one day of God is equal to 1,000 years of man, so Adam should be in the Garden of Eden and lived there the same time as God rested. But before the year ended, Adam committed sin. In the year 821, Adam committed sin. So God completely erased Mesopotamia. After the 20th generation, at the time of Abraham. So the plan of God was carried by Abraham in Canaan. Many years passed by that Jesus was born in Bethlehem. His human flesh was chosen so that Christ, the true God, could humanly speak to the people for the preparation of his third week in this world. Many Jews did not believe him. So Christ took away the kingdom of God and gave it to a certain nation that became Christian in 1523. From this time, 1523, 40 years should be counted off that Adam, who could give life to the people, should appear? It was in 1563 that Adam came to the Philippines in the person of Datu Pagbuaya. Since Adam lived in Mesopotamia, so with the new Mesopotamia, which is also an island surrounded by the two branches of twin rivers called Polo River and Liburan River. According to the plan of God, the place should be discovered 40 years after the reputation of history of King Solomon. And the history repeated in 1523. 40 years after, Datu Pagbuaya reached Dapitan in the year 1563. Counting the remaining 390 years from 1563, so it was in 1953 that Datu Pagbuaya spiritually returned in Dapitan. 10 years that followed, so it was in 1963, the city, the town of Dapitan became a city under the penmanship of President Diosdado Macapagal through Republic Act or RA 3811, which he signed on June 22 of the same year. 10 years that followed, so it was in 1973, the city of Dapitan became the Shrine City under the signature of President Ferdinand E. Marcos via Presidential Decree or PD number 105, which he issued it on January 24, 1973. At this juncture, 1973, Dapitan City, which is now the Shrine City, is the new Mesopotamia, where the second Adam, who personified Datu Pagbuaya in 1563, will come back to the Dapitan City. So from 1973, the time when Dapitan City became the Shrine City of the Philippines, 40 years should be counted off. So it was in 2013 that the 70 weeks of God, or the 490 years from 1523 had accomplished or had fulfilled in the year 2013, in which there were two major great events in the story of God. One of it was the commemoration of the baptismal ceremony of King Humabon in Cebu. It was done by the entire family of the Kingdom of God on April 14 of this year, particularly in Parian, Cebu. The second one was held in Dapitan City on November 21, 2013, again together with the entire family of the Kingdom of God, and for the first time with the city government of Dapitan jointly commemorated the true founder of Dapitan, who was Dato Pagbuaya. And it was Supreme King Filemon or Reambonanza who personally acted or portrayed Dato Pagbuaya. So we have now a final answer to this specific question: what is Dapitan according to the plan of God? The answer is, Dapitan according to the plan of God is the new Mesopotamia. It is where the last Adam should appear, who will give life to the people. For it is written that the first Adam in the old Mesopotamia became a living soul, and the last Adam that had appeared and that had returned in the new Mesopotamia, the Dapitan city, will give life to the people. In what way? Of course, by cleaning our blood, because blood is life and life is blood. Because Supreme King Filemon or Reambonanza had discovered the new system of massage to clean the blood, which is the life of the people, through Philippine New Life Therapeutic Massage. So I am not afraid nor ashamed to tell the world that the Dapitan city, being rebuilt by Supreme King Filemon or Reambonanza as the new Mesopotamia, and that he is the last Adam in our times. It's all be here. Thank you very much. Until next time for another topic. Just stay tuned. Thank you. Mabuhay, Philippines.